everyone, and welcome back to the Travel Mug podcast. Megan, it feels like forever since we've done a beginner's guide episode.
I know. It's very exciting. Let's give the people what they want.
Yes, here we are. If you didn't know, beginner's guides episodes are our most popular episodes. So we are giving you a beginner's guide to Lauterbrunnen, Switzerland. So Megan visited on her big European adventure a few years ago, June 2022. I'll link that episode in the show notes, but I'm excited to deep dive into this beautiful area of Switzerland. So let's start with a little history of the area. So, Lauterbrunnen has roots dating back to the Middle Ages, and it was first mentioned in historical records around the 13th century. That's a while ago.
It is.
Because of the steep terrain, this area was pretty isolated back then, but mountain climbers started using Lauterbrunnen as a base in the late 1700s, which started a demand for hotels. A road from Interlaken was built in 1834. The Bernese Oberland Railway arrived in 1890, and the important Jungfrau Railway was built in 1912, bringing even more visitors to the area. The area started to become known for winter sports like skiing, curling, and bobsledding. We were just watching the Winter Olympics, and here they are.
Yep,
with
there
their
we go.
roots. Besides winter sports and mountain climbing, the area is known for its 72 waterfalls, including the Staubach Waterfall, one of the highest free-falling waterfalls in Europe, which Megan will talk more about soon. So today, Lauterbrunnen is a popular destination, and it is struggling a bit with over-tourism. So this is a really small town. Around 2,400 people live there. In 2024, the city was considering introducing a fee to visit, similar to the Venice access fee. So no word on whether Lauterbrunnen is going to actually implement that going forward, but it's a good idea to check ahead. It's a fee that you pay if you're just coming for the day, essentially. Usually that fee is waived if you're staying in a hotel. And sometimes the fee is waived if you arrive via like public transport instead of your own car. So who knows what will happen in the future, but good idea when you're listening to this to just double check on that. All right, so now we know all about this beautiful, beautiful area. Megan, how do we get there?
I mean, there's a few options, as there usually is. We personally arrived in beautiful Lauterbrunnen, which is a valley, by car, as we had accommodations booked in town. And I believe after that, we used our car like one time. I'll talk about where we went. Because once we were there, we used commuter rail or trains or gondolas the whole time. And that does come at a fairly high price. So I want you to keep that in mind. We took every type of mountain transportation we could literally find. Like I said, cable car, gondola, train. I loved it. We arrived in Lauterbrunnen after our stay in Heidelberg, Germany, which was about a 4-hour drive away, and also a truly lovely place I would definitely recommend to visit as well. So arriving by car is, of course, a popular option, but even more popular is arriving by train from another destination within Switzerland. There are many options, and the train station in Lauterbrunnen is very central. Even if you have a rental car, you could still park it at a train station in another city and come in that way if you don't want to have to worry about having a car during your visit. We had like parking at our hotel, so it wasn't a big deal. We did buy a train pass before going online, which was nearly, I think, $200 a person. And it did work great. However, there were still activities that it did not include, which were expensive, such as visiting Jungfrau Joch that we had to pay for separately. So just keep that in mind when you are, or if you do buy a pass in advance, see what it does cover and what it doesn't cover. Lauterbrunnen isn't huge, like Jen mentioned, but it is a great base for so much else to see, which I will talk about in a bit, as the area is rich with stuff to do.
Yes. So, where to stay? This is a big topic usually when you're visiting somewhere, and I can imagine that even though this is a small town, it does have lots of options since it is a popular tourist destination.
Yeah, and there are lots of options on where to stay. So whether you need something cheaper, such as a hostel, There are also Airbnbs, guest houses, and of course, hotels. We personally stayed at Hotel Silberhorn. It was very close to the train station and grocery store. We also had a really amazing view of the famous waterfall in town, plus the mountain, as it had windows on multiple sides.
Mm.
So we were able to see different views out of different windows. You could actually pee and see the mountains out the window right in front of you.
I mean, that sounds amazing.
Totally. A pee with a view. It was a really incredible room overall. It was a hotel room, so there wasn't really a kitchenette or anything. It was a hotel room, just very, very nice one. It had like a woodeny cabin vibe to it, and we really
Mm.
loved our stay there. I definitely recommend it, but there are lots of choices, and we made our booking on booking.com as we usually do. So this was a pandemic booking, a trip that we finally got to take
Mm.
on our third try, and we had booked other accommodations within the town prior to that. But when it came time to actually go, we did land on this hotel and it was a really great choice. I'll never forget, like, our room had a balcony. And when you came outside, and I think I had waited so long for this, and I got outside and I saw the waterfall for the first time from the balcony. Like, I know that I cried. I remember crying on the balcony because I was just like, I waited so long for this. And like, there it is before your eyes. It was really surreal.
Oh, yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, after after rebooking that trip
Yes.
3 times. Yeah,
Yes.
finally being there. And, like, I think a wooden cabin vibe is exactly what you would want in, like, a mountainy
Town
town,
in
so
Switzerland, yes.
it sounds perfect. So when I visit, I will be looking them up.
All right.
Alright, so let's talk about what to do.
Yeah, definitely. So you've already mentioned this, which is Staubach Falls or Staubach Fall, and it also has a hike up, which I'll talk about in a moment. So this was located about a 10-minute walk from our hotel. Like I said, I'd looked forward to seeing it for 2 years or 3 years. It was very much worth the wait. You also mentioned it's one of the tallest free falling waterfalls in Europe. And don't miss walking up the path. So you can actually go up a path and go in behind the falls in the summer
Mhm.
months. It is worth it if you're able to, and it is a free activity, and by golly, take advantage of a free activity. You'll be like, "Ooh, I don't have to pay for this." And at night, they light up the base of the falls, so you can actually go and see it in the nighttime as well, and it looks really, really cool. So,
Oh,
yeah, definitely an enjoyable, free, naturey activity.
that sounds lovely.
Indeed. Next, I want to talk about within Lauterbrunnen is Trummelbach. So we chatted with some other tourists on a random like gondola that we took, and they actually told us about this place. We didn't know about it. So it's closed as of now. So I think it's likely one of those warm weather visits because it says
Mhm.
temporarily closed on Google. So I'm assuming it's a summerish activity. We likely could have walked, but this was the one place we chose to drive from our hotel, and it was about a 6-minute drive. The cost as of now to do this and go inside is 29 Canadian as of 2026. The waterfall is actually inside of a mountain and it has carved a path through the mountain.
Wow.
It was mind-blowing, and the water is actually coming from, like, 3 different nearby glacier walls. So it is, like, just barreling, and so I'm assuming it started small and then made this huge cavernous way through the mountain, and the sound is so loud, and the power of the water moving through the mountain is just incredible. I do want to mention there are stairs to climb and there are lots of great spots to view the water rushing through. I would definitely recommend it. We got there just as a big tour bus was pulling up. No, sorry, we actually left at that time. So we feel like we like hit the lottery because we were exiting, the tour bus was arriving. So like anything, when you go early, it's always better.
Yeah, yeah. You know us. We like to be there early.
I like to be there early because I like to have stuff more to myself.
Yeah.
All right, next up,
Alright.
Jungfrau Joch. So, top of Europe, it is called. This was a really incredible and costly experience. So, we were able to get the train from Lauterbrunnen, which took us up to Kleine Scheidegg. So, from there, we had some time to walk around. We got some very beautiful scenic pictures. Switzerland is up there with Iceland in terms of natural beauty. I thought it was just breathtaking. And then we caught a cog train up into the mountain. to the observatory at the top, which isn't actually the top because the observatory is like a saddle between two peaks. So Jungfrau
Ah,
Joch and Monk. And I'm sure I'm not saying that properly, but those are the two mountain peaks, and then the observatory is in the middle. I wish I could remember the cost with this for both of us, which was in addition to the pass we had already bought, but I'm going to say it was at least a few hundred extra dollars to do
mhm.
this one activity. I totally think it was worth it. I would spend the money again, but it is something to keep in mind depending on your budget.
Yeah. I mean, if you're already there.
And you should know that going in advance. If you've done your
Yeah.
research, you're going to know how expensive Switzerland is. And
Yeah.
I mean, you have to deal with it or you don't go, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
Those are the options, I
there
guess.
indeed. So another mountain experience is called Schlitthorn. That is a less crowded and cheaper than Jungfrau Joch, if that is your thing. And why wouldn't it be? We had intended to do this one as well, but we actually had a TV in our hotel room that showed conditions of all the nearby mountaintop.
Wow.
Very convenient.
That is
Oh, I
convenient.
know.
Yeah.
And the only other day we had available, the conditions were not great. So we couldn't go. Like it was really quite snowy up there. And I'll never forget the day we did almost every activity that exists in the area. I've never been so tired in my whole life. Peter got me up so early because he'd been watching the TV channel. And he's like, today's the day. He's like, we have clear conditions. We need to go.
Go, 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 go.
That's exactly how the whole day was. We're like, we didn't stop once. Anyway, it was exhausting, but exhilarating. There are quite a few options to get from Lauterbrunnen to Schlitthorn, including driving a cable car, hiking. That's not for me, but it could be for you, or the train. So it depends on how you want to get there. It did look really cool, so I recommend it if you have time and you want to save some money as well.
Oh, yes, and if the conditions are good.
Correct.
Hopefully that, TV station maybe there's a website that shows
Yeah,
you, that
maybe.
would be very, very helpful for people to have. I'm gonna let me do some digging, and maybe by the time this episode goes out, I'll have a link for you in the show notes, but
Mm.
don't hold me to that, I'm gonna try for you.
Don't leave us any nasty comments in case we can't find it. Excellent. That's a great idea. So, next we'll move on to sort of like a nearby town, where I definitely recommend visiting Grindelwald. We went there specifically to do First Cliff Walk, which is a metal walkway suspended from the mountainside.
That sounds scary, Megan. Was it scary?
So, I'll get there. So we did take a train into Grindelwald, of course, and then we got a gondola up to the cliff walk. Peter did actually get up there and decide, it's not for me." So we got a few pictures taken with him, like, out on it a little bit, but he's like, "I can't." And I'm like, "I'm going to do that." I did it alone.
Whoa.
I know. I really pulled up my big girl diaper and off I
Yeah.
went because you could see, of course, with metal, you could actually, it like had little holes. So you could actually see like the fall below. Anyway, I didn't want to miss the opportunity.
Yeah.
It is truly an engineering feat, and you just hope that like they knew what they were doing as you're walking on it. But it does offer some spectacular views. I'll include pictures when we do the social media for this because it's beautiful, and I definitely recommend it. The views from the mountain while you're up there, and the gondola ride up there as well, they're breathtaking. Once you're up on the mountain, so besides the cliff walk, there are other activities up there, such as go karts, scooters, zip lining, and hiking. It is a cool area that's actually called Grindelwald First. So it's kind of like an activities area.
Mhm.
So ensure you check on these activities before going because a lot of this is warmer weather activity. Overall, it's a beautiful little town as well. You could easily choose to stay there instead of Lauterbrunnen during your time in and around Interlaken. Other things to do in the area are go check out the beautiful Bachalpski Lake and some really spectacular, of course, hiking, cafes, restaurants, and a bit of shopping as well. So Gimmelwald, Mieren, and also Wengen are nearby towns as well. They're all beautiful and worth the visit. We went we went to actually all three, but not for activities as much as like to take the cable car rides up, look around, grab a coffee and lunch. But again, especially with the over tourism of Lauterbrunnen, not that these places probably don't have a bit of that, but these are other options in the area where you can stay and have all the same activities to be able to do. So overall, we loved our base of Lauterbrunnen. We did so much while we were there, and we still didn't really get to explore or see half or more of it. But our wallets could only take so much. So we had to move on to Austria, where we felt like we had all the money in the world. Felt like
Good.
kings. We're like, oh, the cheese is only 2 euros.
Amazing. Speaking of food, Megan,
Yes.
let's talk about the food in Lauterbrunnen.
Yes, definitely. So I do find sometimes I feel like when meals are expensive that you don't really get, what you're paying for. So we honestly didn't eat out a ton while we were there, if I'm being very honest. And we knew that in advance. We figured we would do a lot of like grocery store stuff. We had, of
Yeah.
course, like wine in our room. If we wanted to sit out on the balcony, we went to a pub one night and we had a few drinks, but food wasn't high on our priority in town. I do want to mention the Silberhorn restaurant. So, right in our hotel, and this is where we ate our first meal in town. It was honestly delicious and very convenient, of course. We ended up each getting a roasty, which is a classic Swiss potato pancake. I
Mhm.
had been pescatarian for 5.5 years at this point, but I had decided for some reason, I guess I threw caution to the wind, and I knew I was going to eat meat again on this trip. And I don't know why I decided this, and I don't know why this was in my head, but this was the very first meal that I did it.
Wow.
I know. So I ordered the breakfast version of the roasty. So it had an egg in the middle. I was eating eggs because I was pescatarian anyway, but it had like
Mhm.
bacon all around. And Peter was he was like really a little bit upset that I was going to break this. And he's like, are you really sure like you want to do this? And I was just like, I believe I am. And so like I ate the bacon and it was delicious. And I've heard people say who like go back on the meats, that their body has like an adverse reaction. But my body was just like, where have you been?
Yes.
Come to mama. It was
That's so funny.
so I definitely
Um,
recommend a roasty. Very delicious, kind of traditional. So I would highly recommend that.
mm,
The grocery store. So ironically, but I guess not because it's Switzerland, but chocolate was dirt cheap. Like, I'm
mm.
talking 45, 55 like, cents on the euro. Like, we ate
Whoa.
a lot and we brought a ton home. And it was a good chocolate. Like, it was
Yeah.
we felt like we found the jackpot there. Otherwise, we had, really great sandwiches, coffee, drinks, like, in a little, like, cup with a lid and already
Mhm.
pre-made yogurt. The nearest grocery store to us in town was the Co-op. It had everything we needed. Our bellies were full, and we didn't spend a crazy amount of money there.
Yeah.
And then finally, restaurant Weidstubli Lauterbrunnen. It does have a 4.5 rating on Google. I knew, of course, with Switzerland being expensive, I was going to throw caution to the wind with one meal, and that was going to be fondue. I was
Good choice.
Thank you. I was just like, we're gonna go for it. So we went to this restaurant. We picked it out in advance, and we got cheese fondue for two and two servings of bread plus some water. I think I talked about this in the other podcast, but it was $90 Canadian.
Mhm.
We just paid the bill and carried on with our lives. I knew it was going to be, and it was delicious. I'm glad we had it. It was very good. The price was a little much. However, in 2022 of June, the Canadian dollar was actually doing amazing versus the euro and even the Swiss franc. It was still way too much, but back then it was one of the highest peaks it had been in years. So I felt like,
Mm.
why not?
Wow, that was helpful. Good timing.
I know, I agree. So all of those places are in Lauterbrunnen, tons of other places to eat, including those other smaller towns as well. So many options. So whatever sort of suits your budget or what you're looking for, you will find there. Again, I just recommend doing some Google Maps research on that. And yeah, lots of choices though.
Yeah. All right. So we've gotten to the fun facts part of the episode. So, fun fact number one, there is some debate on what the name Lauterbrunnen means. So,
Mm,
Brunnen means spring or fountain, but lauter could mean clear, clean, bright, many, or louder.
sure.
So any combination of those, all of them make sense, I guess. So that's why they can't
Right.
to figure out.
Right.
So in 1911, the 19-year-old J.R.R. Tolkien explored this area And it's a little known fact that these landscapes provided the inspiration for settings described by him in The Lord of the Rings.
Really?
Yeah.
Very fun, very interesting.
Yes. So the Staubach waterfall inspired German playwright, novelist, scientist, and poet Goethe to write his poem Song of the Spirits Over the Waters. Obviously, it was originally in German and not in English.
Yes, because I was gonna say that's a very long title, but it's not
It's a
meant
long one.
for the English, so
Yes. And this area, Lauterbrunnen, is known for being the mecca of wingsuit base jumping. And the Swiss Base Association estimates that between 15,000 and 20,000 base jumps are made in the Lauterbrunnen Valley each year.
wow, that is
That's
a
a,
lot.
that's a lot of people jumping off a mountain.
It is indeed, bless their hearts, especially in little wingsuits.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that is
That's not
terrifying.
for me. Yeah, we didn't mention base jumping under the things to do, but, I would be, interested to know if any of our listeners are into base jumping.
Yes, I
Uh,
mean,
so, send us a message if that is something that you're into. I'm curious,
I'd
and
like
tell
to
me
know.
why.
Yeah, I'd like to know all about it because I'm just not that kind of gal, but bless your heart.
Yeah, so that is it for this week's episode. We hope you found it helpful. We have many, many, many other beginner's guides episodes, so be sure to check those out on our website, travelmugpodcast.com. You can find us and photos of Lauterbrunnen on Instagram and Facebook at Travel Mug Podcast. And to support the show, you can leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. You can support us on Buy Me a Coffee or share the show with a travel loving pal. And until next time, bye.
Bye.